consistently leading in matters good governance for 10 years. Pongezi. Vice Chancellor, I'll find time to come and visit and have a chit chat with the professors and students and staff. But not today. Today I was invited by the agriculture people, although they have taken too much time, but I've forgiven them because it is their day. I'll only make a request because we have other events in other counties today, 2 other different events in 2 different counties, and we have other meetings in Nairobi in the evening. I'll make my remarks, and then I'll request the colleagues who have just come. I will leave my brother C.S. Roko here to introduce them so that they can greet people, but I have to leave. So C.S. Roko, you will finish for me. Make sure the members of parliament are able to say jambo, and maybe the speaker on behalf of the assembly, because we need to respect the local leaders who have come to be with us, really. Many of them are not farmers. Even if they are farmers, they are not macadamia farmers. But they are our leaders, and they are here because they want to express solidarity with macadamia farmers. So C.S. Roko, once I finish, the program continues, you come, make your remarks, and then you finish the introduction of the leaders, then you hand over the meeting to P.S. Rono and the team. Let me also say, before I say a few formal remarks, that I'm happy to be back. I was here a few days ago, and I'm always here. Sometimes it's never even publicized when I'm here, because this is home. So I pass here on my way to Tharaka Nithi, on my way to Nairobi, almost every week. Sometimes I stop to take tea, some other time. Yeah, so I was here recently, and thank you, Deputy Governor, for telling me that you really don't mind my many visits, and I have not started them when I became Deputy President, because my neighborhood is just here, so we've been passing through Embu and stopping in Embu for many years. And allow me to say, I know there have been some issues around Muguka, about Muguka, and there has been some attempt to remove Muguka from the schedule to the Crops Act and the regulations under the Crops Act. I want to thank the leaders, the elected leaders of Embu County, because they have been very persistent and have been together seeking for a solution from government and intervention so that we don't destroy that value chain of Muguka, which is grown in the lower part of this county. I want to thank all of them, the MCAs, the members of parliament from Embu, Waziri Roko, who is the immediate MP from Mbarire North, the governor, the DG. Everybody has been very, very focused on this issue. We've had some engagements, and I'm happy to report this morning that the sponsor of the intended legislation, which would have affected Muguka, has agreed graciously to drop that legislative proposal. And for the avoidance of doubt, the credit must go to the leaders of Embu County, from the governor, the senator, the members of parliament, the MCAs. They have been on my back, on my neck, on my phone, everywhere. And I want to report that they have done a good job. We've had a discussion. The Honorable Owen Bayer, who is a colleague of ours, has agreed that in the interest of the country's collective interest, he will drop that proposal. And the proposal had gone to first reading. So it was not a joke. It was not supposed to be a gimmick. It was a serious thing. It had gone through first reading, but we'll find ways within the parliamentary procedures to have that matter dropped, since it is a private member's business owned by a private member. It's not a government bill. So please, Mugoka farmers, relax. We have your back. And your leaders got your back. I thought I should share that good news. The other things my brother was talking about, DG Mugo, Kenywa Mugo, they are neither here nor there. Because I don't think there's anybody who knows me or who knows the friendships and the ties between me and the people and leaders of Embu, who could imagine there could be the slightest issue between us and any leader from Embu or any person from Embu. Because this is home, so there is no cause of alarm. I saw there were some politicians there trying to create problems, and there are no problems. And to demonstrate there are no problems, apart from what DG has said, I bring you greetings from my sister, says Mbarire, the governor of Embu County. She could not be with us because the president has called another meeting at 2 o'clock in State House on livestock vaccination with all governors. That's where she is. She could not be here and be back before 2. And that's why the minister also for agriculture is not here, because he's supposed to be at that meeting. Other than that, we are doing very well. And she will come and say that herself from here, so there's no problem. Having said that, let me now talk about macadamia, then I ask to be allowed to leave. I am honored to join you today at this first ever National Macadamia Conference here in Embu County, one of our leading macadamia producing counties. I thank the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development through PS Rono, who is here, and the senior officers here. I want to thank you and the macadamia industry for putting together this, and particularly theming this conference to be farmer-centric, because the farmer is a fulcrum for agricultural productivity and progress, and therefore the theming of this first national conference is quite apt. Thank you also for bringing other stakeholders to come and show solidarity with our farmers, growers, agronomists, financiers, processors, marketers, all of them. Their scale, tenacity, and drive has taken this industry from strength to strength and put macadamia farming in this country on the global stage. I think we are about number 3 or 4, maybe number 4 in the world, 2 in Africa, in terms of production of this crop. This conference comes at a time when we are undertaking deliberate reforms in agriculture as the Kenya Kwanza administration. Why? Because 2/3 of Kenyans derive either all their income or part of their income from agriculture. And that's why Kenya Kwanza administration has agriculture as one of the pillars for transforming this country from the bottom up. We have therefore set forth ambitious objectives aimed at catalyzing transformation and inclusive growth. And our reforms as government are farmer-centric, just like this conference, focused on reducing the cost of food, increasing agricultural value addition, and bringing higher earnings for farmers. Allow me, therefore, just to make very broad interventions we've done in agriculture before I talk about macadamia, which is the theme of this conference. One of the things that we have assured as a way of guaranteeing food security and revitalizing agriculture has been to undertake a very ambitious program of farmer registration. We have registered 6.4 all manner of crops, the acreage, what they do, their income levels. And that farmer registration is ongoing because we believe there are more farmers who are yet to be registered. And it has helped us in our planning for this sector. So that process of farmer registration is one of the interventions we started with. Number two, we started very early with the national program for distribution of subsidized fertilizer. In 2022, when this government took over, the cost of fertilizer was somewhere between 7,000 and 7,500 per bag of 50 kilograms. We used government resources to bring that cost down. And this is fertilizer for all crops to 2,500. That subsidized fertilizer program, certified seeds, and favorable weather are the three factors that are responsible to some of these changes we've seen in the growth of our agricultural sector. Of course, we've had other interventions specific to certain crops, like the Coffee Advanced Cherry Fund, which we brought from 2 billion shillings to 7 billion shillings. And that, again, has had its effect, and the effect is showing, even as we speak, as one of the things that have catapulted coffee prices threefolds, fourfolds into highs never realized in the last 35 years. We, therefore, are on course of revitalizing agriculture. There is a lot that needs to be done, especially in the livestock, the dairy and livestock sector. And we are also aware that because of climate change, as some of the speakers have said, we are experiencing unpredictable weather, and that is disrupting our productivity of both the crops and also the livestock sector. We've had crop failure, we've had livestock deaths because of harsh weather. But nevertheless, we are investing in innovative technologies that are climate smart, that will help us overcome the challenges of climate change and push agriculture to the next level. What have we been able to achieve so far? Already, we've distributed 14.7 million bags of fertilizer between 2022 and now. Last year alone, we distributed 5 million bags of planting fertilizer and 2.8 million bags of top dressing fertilizer. That was last year, and that has helped us to bring down the cost of fertilizer. As I've said, it has also given us food security. This year, we intend to distribute 12.5 million bags of planting and top dressing fertilizer. And we hope that should help us take production to new levels. Allow me to say also that we are now concentrating in refining the fertilizer delivery and distribution model to make sure all farmers get fertilizer at the right time, they get the right fertilizer for what they grow, and we are investing in cooperation and support with the county government to a very efficient last mile delivery where the farmer gets the fertilizer at their doorstep, literally. We also don't want late arrival of fertilizer. For example, fertilizer, certain types needs to come when the rains are setting in to allow it to sink and dissolve in the soil. If it doesn't arrive at when the rains are coming, setting in, it will not be as effective. Tea. 2022, we found earnings, Kenya earnings, export earnings from tea at 138 billion shillings. The following year, 2023, as a country, we were able to push this from 138 to 181 billion shillings. Last year, 2024, we pushed it further from 181 billion shillings to a record 215 billion shillings. Again, something we've never achieved in the past. Why did we get this progress? We removed VAT on teas purchased from local tea factories and equipment imported for value addition in cottage industries. We also distributed climate-smart, high-yielding tea seedlings to farmers. We also enhanced research and capacity building for 294 micro, small, and medium enterprises on manufacture of specialty teas, value addition and product diversification in collaboration with the Tea Board of Kenya. These are some of the interventions that took us there. We did not achieve that just like that. Of course, we also availed for the first time subsidized fertilizer to KTDA. On maize, again, production has risen from just last year, from 2022, 34 million bags to 46 million bags. We are closing the gap on importation of maize. Maize production has increased, or rather, we have been able to decrease the importation of maize by 6%, and we are on target to make sure that we make that, or we retain that at zero. Coffee, again, even without expanding the acreage under coffee production, our interventions as this government has brought an increase in export earnings in coffee from 25 billion in 2022 to 34 billion in 2024 because of certain interventions around fertilizer, around governance in the coffee cooperatives, and the reforms we are doing at the Nairobi Coffee Exchange, removing cartels and multiple licenses, carefully thought out government interventions that are yielding fruits. The prices, which were at 50 to 60 shillings a kilo of cherry, now are going for 130, 140, 150 shillings a kilo. There is promise that the prices can only go up. We are also investing in other value chains, edible oils, sugarcane, nuts, rice, etc., etc. And in livestock, we are also doing interventions again. Because of the theme of today, I will not belabor that, but we have exported last year 42,000 cattle, 9,600 sheep and goats, and over 2 million chicken to international markets including Oman, Tanzania, Uganda, Mauritius, Seychelles, and the DRC, among other countries. Our milk production has gone up. We have attained the guaranteed minimum return